Hello, thank you all for coming. My name is Gabrielle Clark, and my daughter was socially transitioned into believing she was a boy. This, of course, is not true. She is not a boy. She never believed she really was a boy. Um, Unfortunately, our society as it is has taken the gender ideology to a whole new level, and the indoctrination that's going on in our schools through the SEL program and other influences like social media and peer pressure have made it impossible for a lot of our children to stay out and stay inoculated from this cult. First, today, I want to talk about what happened to my daughter. About a year and a half ago, that would be January 2021, my daughter started spending a lot of time on TikTok. And that was very, I don't know, scary. She was having a lot of fun with her friends, but at the same time, she was starting to really, really pull away from her family. And a lot of us all experienced that sort of thing through the pandemic because our children were spending more and more time on their devices because they all had to use them in school. So my daughter started to become more and more distant. The TikToks started to get weird. The clothing started to get more dark and clowny, cartoony like. It wasn't makeup. She wasn't doing makeup anymore. It was a costume after a while. And that was concerning. So a few of the parents at the school started to complain because we were worried about our children. And ultimately, one of the children in the school tried to commit suicide, and she was admitted to a facility. And then we all agreed that we would allow our children to be in a counseling program at school through SEL. I didn't know then what was going to happen in that program. One of the students identified as trans, and then it seemed like so many of the kids started to have real problems. I was hearing things from the other parents. It was very concerning. My daughter was starting to get more and more involved. She was starting to become cruel to the people in our family. It wasn't like her at all. She was bubbly and happy and sweet before. And I just chalked it up to this is what teenagers are like because they're all messed up from being isolated for so long, and that it was a phase and she would grow out of it. So by the end of the school year, there were a lot of really troubling issues going on. So I took my daughter after school was out and we visited family in a remote area where there was no internet. And to my complete and total surprise, my daughter went back to being the loving, kind, sweet person that she was before. And that's when I realized it wasn't normal. That wasn't the way teenagers are nowadays. It was this ideology. It was the school. It was social media. That was a horrible revelation. And even at that point, I didn't realize how much of the influence that her peers in the school had on her. So after the summer, I allowed her to go back to school. I thought that being around her friends would be okay as long as I kept her off of social media. And that's what I did for the most part. But she went right back to the same way that she was before, just cruel and hurtful and sarcastic and just isolating herself from us. All of this stuff. And then the cutting and the scratching and the biting started. And that was just heartbreaking to see. I did everything I thought I should to try to help her through this. And then I heard one of the administrators call her by a boy's name. And that was when it really hit me. It was the school, too. Not just social media, not just peer pressure. It was also her school. And by Thanksgiving, I had realized she can't stay here. We can't stay here. I was scared to say anything to anyone because I thought they're going to take my kid away if I don't agree with her gender delusion. And I didn't want to hurt her. And I was just scared. I didn't know what else to do. So I thought, and I talked to relatives. I spoke with the rest of the people in my family. I talked to some professionals. And that was when I said, okay, I have to come up with a plan. I have to come up with a plan for my daughter to save her. And that's what I did.